Nació mientras jugaban a la Mega Drive y creció alimentándose de juegos. Es Sorman el gamer. Ningún juego se me resiste.
Qué bueno. ¡Ojo! Claro, es que... Claro. Me iba a regalar los zapatos. Iba a hacer el regalo que me iba a hacer para que cogiera el oso. A ver, te vamos a ir por aquí. Madre mía. El anciano era la caña, tío.
Part of the basement was flooded, and the stairs had collapsed. I didn't know what was going on, but I knew I wanted to get back upstairs. The gate was locked. I wouldn't
Vale,
have
pues
to
una
be careful.
llave.
The electricity was going haywire in some places.
Ojo. ¿Cómo hacemos esto? ¿Cómo hacemos esto? Tengo que encontrar una forma de caerme. A ver, esto es agua, ¿no? Esto me mata. Claro. No sé lo que tengo que hacer. A ver. Será más obvio de lo que parece, pero estoy empanado. Ah, tío, claro. Vale, ya lo pillo. Ya lo he entendido, vale. Acabo de entender el infinito. Vale. Acabo de entender completamente el infinito. Ok.
How long had I been asleep? Months? Years? I was so confused. Where had everybody gone?
Poca broma, ¿eh? Poca broma con eso. ¿Cuánto tiempo he estado dormido? Es que parece que la mansión... Como que la están vendiendo o algo así, o está
I was
destruida.
slightly scared. This was the first time I had been outside on my own.
Claro, es que soy como si fuera un bebé. O sea, realmente soy un robot que ha tenido que entender toda la vida en prácticamente un año. Soy un bebé. Y ya la vida es suficientemente compleja como para entenderla en 100 años.
I knew what I had to do. This had to be my purpose.
Claro, es lo que me han enseñado.
I would
Recoger
clean a
basura.
million things so I could become a real boy. Whatever that meant.
Claro, es lo que me han enseñado. Mi propósito en la vida, obviamente... Había más cosas, pero todo acabó mal antes de que encontrara esos propósitos. Vale, vamos a seguir limpiando. Vámonos. Hay gritos, ¿no? No sé si es un gato o son gritos de verdad. Ahora espérate, voy a seguir limpiando. $4.625 cap... Ah, no, esos son los que llevo. Vale, me he asustado. 365 aquí, ok. Está chulo eso de cambiar la gravedad, ¿eh? Vale. Vale. Hay muchos, ¿eh? O sea, esta parte Un poco densa, cuanto menos. Seguro que me he saltado alguna. Qué grande, Eric Escobar, qué grande. Qué grande, épico. Vale, pues esto ya tiene más pinta de mundo abierto, ¿no? Aunque sea pequeñito. La sensación de que ya me puedo meter en diferentes lugares y demás e investigar. Como un poquito más de exploración. Hola, señora gaviota. Adiós. No les caigo bien a las gaviotas. Me tienen miedo. Vale. Espero que no sea todo el juego recogiendo basura. Sería un poco surrealista. Vámonos, que nos vamos. ¿Os imagináis que tengo que recoger literalmente 1.000.000?
I was surprised to see an old man, but not as surprised as he was. It turned out he was blind. He was kneeling on the floor with his hand in a drain. When I asked him what he was doing, he said his cat had crawled into the pipes, and he was trying to get her out. He was very happy when I offered to help. He said there was no way we could reach her from here, so if I was willing, I could make my way through the sewers and get her from the other end. He said he would turn off the water for as long as possible, but I would have to run, as the pipes would soon fill up again.
Vale.
I happily agreed. So he gave me a key. He said this will open all the sewer gates. Go through here, then down the ladder, and through the big door at the bottom.
Nice. Espérate, primero me llevo la basura. Gary Gamel. Gary Gamel se llama el amigo. Estará flipando, ¿eh? Estará flipando ahora mismo conmigo. Vámonos. Hay que encontrar al señor gato.
I better run.
Vale. Pero, vale, tenía que morir obligatoriamente si quería coger esa basura. ¡Ah! ¡Ah! ¡Uf! Miedo. ¡Lol! Espérate un momento. Vale, lo entiendo. Es complicado, coger la basura y no morir. O sea, prácticamente creo que es imposible. Es que esa botella... Es imposible coger todas las cosas, porque es que tienes que estar X tiempo. ¿Lo veis? Es imposible. Vale, venga, vámonos. Ya hemos cogido. Ya no hay nada que temer. ¿Cómo subo ahí arriba? Qué buena forma de subir ahí arriba, ¿no? Vamos a dar la vuelta. Tengo que morir obligatoriamente si quiero cogerlo todo. Sí, tiene que ser a la vuelta, o en algún momento de la aventura. Digo, en algún momento de aventura no habrá agua, digo yo. Si no, es imposible coger esa bicicleta. ¿Cómo? ¿Cómo? Ah, vale. Perfecto.
I found the old man's cat. She was fine, if a little confused. I was horrified. It looked like me, but it shambled around like something from the film we watched on Halloween.
¿Cómo? ¿Quién? ¿Pero estos quiénes son? Son otros robots. Son otros robots, gente. ¿Puedo volver a hacerlo todo? Bueno, lo hacemos en otro momento a lo mejor. Voy a esperar algún trofeo para...
The man was happy to have his cat back. He looked so content with her sat on his lap. I told him about the thing I saw, but he just laughed and said, "Those bastard robots, they're always getting up through the pipes. Don't worry though, it'll never get through the big doors. If I had my way, we'd have blown up the lot of them when we had the chance."
¿Por qué?
I wasn't sure what he meant, but I decided now wouldn't be the best time to tell him I was a robot.
Claro, él no sabe que soy un
The
robot.
man laughed and said, "Don't worry, I know who you are," and told me that he knew the old man.
Vale, pero entonces no han pasado tanto, o sea, no ha pasado tanto tiempo.
As we chatted, the man brewed himself some tea. He said that he had worked for the old man. In fact, he had lost his sight in one of the old man's factories. Strangely, he smiled at this thought. "He always did me right," he said. "When I had my accident, the old man said he would look after me. And he did. He always made sure I had enough money, and he let me move into this old pumping station on his land. Which reminds me, I have something here for you." He rummaged around behind a cupboard. Then he continued saying, "The old man wanted you to have this when you were old enough, but fate wouldn't allow it." He passed me a large box. It was empty. I thought about pretending to be excited, but the man said, "Wait a minute. It's empty, isn't it?" He slumped back in his chair. "I was robbed a few months ago," he said, almost in a whisper. "It's strange. They took practically anything metal, but left
No me
loads
hace
of
ninguna
food
gracia que roben a un
and
ciego.
saxophone." The man looked sad, so I thought I would try to change the subject. I told him about my quest to clean a million things. This at least made him smile. He said I was welcome to go back through the pipes anytime I wanted, as there were loads of old things in there that could be cleaned away.
Qué ilusionante. Ah, mira, ostras, mira, hay un montón de cosas, que me dan power-ups. Vamos a descubrirlo. Hola, señor gato. No me tiene miedo el gato. Quito la basura de aquí. Vale, pues vamos a otro lado. Vamos a descubrir qué está ocurriendo. Vale. Aquí es donde escuché unos gritos. No sé si... ¿está diciendo help? ¡Ojo!
The screaming was coming from one of the bedrooms, but the stairs were blocked by a wall of fire.
Ahí. ¿De qué habitación? No es el momento de ir al servicio.
The people screaming turned out to be a man, a woman, and their children. They were confused and terrified. At first the man looked like he was ready to fight me, but after I convinced them that I was there to help, he calmed down. There was no way I could carry them all at once, so the children went first.
Vale. No puedo correr, claro. No, por aquí no. Voy a llevarlo fuera. No quiero decir nada, pero había una ventana en la otra
I dropped the
habitación.
children off at the front door and promised them that I would be back with their parents.
Uy. Oh. Se complica, ¿eh? Vamos a tener que darnos prisa. Además le prometió a los niños que volveré con su padre. Ah, mira, la ventana dirigía... Vale. Entonces... vale, que tengo que pasar por aquí. Vaya. Pero... Ah, no veía. Entonces tengo que pasar por ahí, vale. Ahora, vale.
The fire was getting much worse, so the woman went next.
El padre. El padre me cae bien, ¿eh? Ahí nada más me ha visto, se ha vuelto loco pensando en que era una amenaza para la familia.
When we got to the front door, all the woman said was, "Thank you. Please hurry."
Vamos, uff. Corre. Oh. ¿Qué me encuentra? Oh,
By the
corre.
time I managed to get back, the man was unconscious. I had to pick him up quickly, as I could tell the house was going to collapse at any moment.
Uff, y pesa, ¿eh? Pesa mucho. Pesa mucho. Corre. Corre, Horace, tú puedes. Confiamos en ti. Qué grande.
I helped the family set up a tent so they had somewhere to stay. The kids were excited as they got to camp outside, but I think they knew they had just lost their home. When I mentioned my quest to clean a million things, the man said I should look through the rubble of the house, as they had no use for it. So, when everyone was making dinner, I looked through the wreckage. There wasn't anything I could clean, but to my astonishment, I found a TV set and a games console. With a bit of fiddling, I was able to get them to work. So I sat playing games with the kids until their parents said it was bedtime. As we talked, the man opened a bottle of wine. I asked what had happened. Why was everything so ruined? The man looked at the woman, then the woman sighed and said, "There was a war." "Yes, a war," said the man. One side of the planet attacked the other, and before we knew, it was all over. Everything gone. Everything destroyed. "Well, it's late," said the woman. "We should really get some sleep. Help yourself to anything you need, and we'll see you tomorrow." In the morning, I asked the man if he knew what had caused the fire that had destroyed their house. The man smiled. "Crap old house, bad wiring, constant electrical surges from the unreliable power plant. Take your pick." He said, if we had the money, we'd move to the mainland. But we can barely feed ourselves, let alone buy a new house, so for now we're left here with the rest of the scum. But he did say I should head to the mainland, as there would be plenty there for me to clean, and a better quality of rubbish. The man said, "Before the war, my lovely wife used to be a fisherman." "Fisherwoman? Fishing person? I used to catch fish," interrupted the woman, "and, seeing as you saved us all from the fiery end, maybe you would like to borrow my boat to get to the mainland." I was a little scared, but then they gave me some captain software and I was an old salty sea dog within minutes.
Vamos. Ahora soy un capitán de barco, poca broma. Por cierto, si por aquí vuelvo. Esto está cerrado, ¿no? No tengo la llave. Ah, sí que tengo la llave. Esto es... ¿Esto qué es? Esto es parte de las alcantarillas. ¡Lol! ¿Esto es para seguir buscando chatarra o puedo continuar la historia? Porque realmente el tema de buscar chatarras no es que sea mi parte favorita del juego. No os voy a engañar. Realmente no puedo llegar hasta ahí. ¿Puedo rebotar en los cabezones? Vamos a probar. No. Bueno, pues vámonos. Igual ahí tenemos que volver después. Con un doble salto o algo. Doble salto es casi seguro que lo vamos a acabar obteniendo. No sé en qué momento conseguí la llave. Tengo la memoria de un pescado. Bueno, pues vamos a ver si podemos coger el barco.
I took the fisherman's boat to the mainland.
Hola, qué bueno. Qué bonito.
The fisherman was right. Everything was in pieces. Everything had been destroyed. I docked the boat in some ruins. They must have once been a town.
Vaya. Calma. ¿Esto es agua o...? Es que no sabía si había ahí un... No se ve bien. Hay algo. Vale, entonces ahí como llego. Ah, vale, que hay un techo, no he visto el techo. A veces confundo un poquito los diferentes tipos de plataformas. Vale. Tarde o temprano creo que cogeré algún tipo de mejora que me permitirá ir por el agua. Me da la sensación de que sí. Tenemos mucho que mejorar como robots. Poco a poco. ¡Eh! ¿Cómo? ¿Por qué en esta pared no puedo...? Este tipo de pared parece que no me deja. No me deja... No, no me deja. Por aquí tampoco puedo. Entonces, ¿qué? Entonces esto. Uf. Vale. Vámonos, que nos vamos. Por ahí no puedo. Es que... Bake. Ah, eso. Que hay algunas zonas que no... Que me crea dudas de si puedo pisarlas o no.
I was confronted by a lovable fat old dog. He almost looked pleased to see me. Suddenly, 3 men appeared holding large guns. Or at least 2 men and what looked to be a pregnant woman. Incredibly, it was Mr. Silton. I thought you'd been shut down, he said. I mean, it's been years. I'm not really sure what happened, I replied. I then told him about me cleaning a million things. He laughed and said, nothing changes. He then showed me into what was surprisingly a really nice house.
Juzgué mal al señor Silton,
husband, said the pregnant lady. I'm Edwina, but everyone calls me Eddie. I believe you know this idiot. And that's Preston. We've met, said the small man. It was me that delivered that thing, remember? All you used to deliver was weed, mumbled Mr. Silton as he put the dog dish on the floor. And I was there that night, when this twat was off his face on mushrooms. Thanks for letting me and the dog stay, by the way. Yeah, well, we like the dog, said Mrs. Silton. And I suppose I've got you to thank for us meeting. What with you giving Barry those dodgy magic mushrooms? She pulled out an old photograph. It was one that Heather had taken the night I had saved Mr. Silton.
Hola. Recuerdos.
It reminded me of everyone else, so I asked what had happened to them. Mr. Silton said Alice had a small place in the countryside. The professor had holed up in one of the old man's factories, Mr. Deck was, believe it or not, now a presenter on the only state
Lol.
television channel. And Heather and her mother lived on a government compound where they both worked. I asked about the old man, surprised that Mr. Silton hadn't mentioned him. He's dead, said Mr. Silton. Sorry, I thought you knew. Anyway, said Mr. Preston, I thought you said that robot thing found the mushrooms for you, in that Orders manky old barn. Mr. Silton looked embarrassed. Well, said Mrs. Silton, I guess we've got you to thank for getting us together then. Time for bed, I think, said Mr. Silton. Make yourself comfy, and we'll see you in the morning.
A dormir. Y a soñar. Si hasta sueño. ¡Ojo! Lo manejo. Anciano. No te vayas, anciano. Vuelve, anciano. Ojo, qué guay, puedo dar... Puedo hacer piruetas. Señor anciano. Vuelva usted, le echo de menos. Fue usted muy amable conmigo. Usted fue el único padre que he tenido. Ay, Dios mío. Buscando el camino a casa. Capítulo 4. Espero que os haya gustado, un like hermoso si os ha gustado, suscribiros si no estáis suscritos, comentad cualquier cosa que se os pase por la cabeza y mirad estos dos vídeos tan hermosos. ¡Adiós!
Hago directos todos los días, ven a verme a Facebook.